up, guys? Christian Hanna here, coming at y'all from the game room today. I wasn't planning on doing this right before Christmas, but I just feel really compelled to, and as you guys know, when I'm passionate about a movie, I just want to talk about it. So today's video is going to be on, Predator 2. Now, why Predator 2? When I went to go watch this movie, last night, me and my wife were like, let's watch Predator 2, because we've both seen it, and it had been years. The first Predator movie is so in tune with the world. Like, everybody knows and loves the movie Predator. It's a Schwarzenegger classic. Some say it's one of his best films, and I would not even dare argue that. I think Predator is a monster of an action and horror movie. And, when I was thinking about watching Predator 2, I was telling my wife, I was like, let's look up a couple reviews, see what people are saying. And I just did. I don't usually do that, but for some reason, I wanted to see what the consensus is out there. And I saw a lot of negative. I saw positive as well. I don't want to just throw it off like nobody really likes this film. But I saw quite a bit of negatives. A lot of complaints about the Predator actually talking, even though it was very brief, talking in this movie and saying different things. And I was like, maybe it's not as good as I remember. So we start watching this movie, and we're falling in love with it. And like I said, it's been so long. And me personally, I really, really loved Predator 2. So much that I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this movie on my channel. I want to let people know to not skip over this movie, because it does fall in the shadow of one of the best movies of the 80s. Now, for me, Predator 2 feels a lot more like a horror movie than the first Predator. And maybe it's because it's lacking Arnold, or maybe it's because the Predator is really sadistic in this movie. You can't really be squeamish and watch this movie, because there's some really horrible, vicious gore in this movie. There are bodies, naked, hanging upside down throughout this movie. The Predator in this movie is very, very sadistic. And what's really nice about this film that I like, it's got that, in the early 90s, a lot of times when they would look forward to the future and what the world would look like, there was this notion that the world would be like this kind of like cyberpunk, this kind of like the sleek cyberpunk, black clothes, weird hair, bad attitude vibe. And Predator 2 has exactly that in the movie. The first 15 minutes of the movie are bombastic and chaotic, and it's supposed to be, almost post-apocalyptic, where martial law should be declared because the crime is 10-1 to the police force. And so the first 15 minutes of the movie are so loud and extravagant. It's one heck of a way to open up a film. It's so massively entertaining. And then you start to see that the Predator is in line with these criminals and killing them off, but the cops aren't sure what's going on, if there's, something else, or what's doing this, so, and it stars Danny Glover. So Danny is absolutely amazing in everything he does. Danny Glover has that weird X factor of just, whenever you see him on screen, he has this magical way to make you fall in line with him, and you support his character just with whatever he's doing. We saw that with Lethal Weapon. We saw that with Saw. We loved him in Saw. And Predator 2 is no exception. So Predator 2, to me, it's as classic as the first one. I don't know if I'd like it better than the first one, but what I want to say is, don't ever skip Predator 2. Give it a shot. I know it's got its fans, but I feel that it's so overshadowed by such a monstrous first film that this film does not get its due diligence. Predator 2 is more of a horror film, in my opinion, than the first one. And the Predator is so sadistic and evil. What he does to these people's bodies, it's horrible. I really don't know how else to put it. It's really horrible. It's vicious. It's cruel. There's a lot of blood in this movie. There's a lot of blood. So the cast is great. The score is great. The violence is great. The horror is great. When it comes to complaints for Predator 2, I really don't have any. Is it a perfect movie? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think there could always be improvements and things, but it feels so very early 90s, that cyberpunk, loud energy, fast-paced, action-packed, but very much more a horror movie to me than the first one. So horror fans, I think, can have another appreciation for Predator 2, more so than the first one, if not just as much. So, you know, this could be the last video before Christmas, and if so, that's fine. What I want to say is, give Predator 2 its due diligence. Give Predator 2 another chance, because it's a good movie, it's a great horror movie, and there's a lot of blood and violence and guts, and Danny Glover is great. And I'm still unsure about the preconceived notions about this film, because I'd watch reviews, and while everybody's got their opinion, everybody has their opinion, I was thoroughly entertained by this. I didn't look at it as any more than what I thought it would be. Predator 2 is going to be loud, bloody, and fast-paced, and that's exactly what I got, except there was more blood than I anticipated. So guys, Predator 2, give it a shot. If you haven't seen it in a long time, don't skip over this one. I know the first one is a masterpiece of 80s cinema and horror action, but watch Predator 2 again. Give it a shot. So this is Christian Hanna Horror. I want to say this is the last video before Christmas, guys. I love you. Thank you to all my subscribers. Let me know your review of Predator 2. If you're a fan of it, or if you're not a fan of it, that's fine. Just want to hear from you guys. So thank you for watching this video. Happy holidays, and we'll see you guys later.